Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Car Grumps. That's us. We're the insane, just out there when it comes to the car world. We're the guys that talk. So as always, we're gonna have the cool crew. Let's introduce everybody today. What's up, guys?
I look like a homeless Jesus Jr.
You what?
Yeah.
What the heck is that? I don't know.
Homeless.
What am I looking at?
I'm like
what
a homeless fat Jesus that just got sort of a haircut.
Sort of a okay. So you did get a haircut or a sort of a haircut?
No,
I
don't fucking know.
You don't know? What do you mean?
I'm lost. I'm so.
You were.
Hi, Dan. Hello.
Phil's been spent all day in the sun, guys.
Hey,
don't mind
I know.
Phil.
Phil's having a great day today.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we got a full house today, don't we?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Full deck of cards.
Should I go ahead and start introducing? Hello, yes. Daniel. Yeah. Should I start introducing? I think maybe that's what we should do.
That'd be a good idea.
So let's start off with the regulars. Who do we got here? I think Dozer's up.
What's
Dozer
going
Jay.
on, everybody?
Oh, wrong person.
That's okay, Phil. Here you go, Phil. And then Phil. And then, as you can see, guys, John from RPM Dent Repair is here today, and he's going to talk to us about all sorts of dent stuff, right?
Yep.
He's the guy you go to when you dent your shit.
He's like 10 miles away from the mic, and then like.
Hey, did you guys warn him? Did you guys warn him?
That you bite?
No.
Did they warn you?
No, they didn't warn me.
No, that I'm a real pain in the ass?
No, they didn't.
He's like,
shit. Yeah. So, and I'm your host, Primo, the master at arms here, and I'm the guy that provides the therapy for all the guests. So, guys, I have a problem. Yesterday, I'm really worried about it. My GPS, I think I'm a bad driver. You know why? You want to know why?
Why?
My GPS said
I've
in
seen you hit a U-turn a couple times.
My GPS said in 300 yards, get me the F out. So,
huh?
My GPS didn't want to be in the car anymore. I don't know. So anyway. All right.
Oh, Danny got a problem.
Uh-oh.
What is it? My car wheel caved in my fender. Can you fix it? John.
We can take a look at it, absolutely.
You can take a look at it.
If the paint's not damaged.
That's, he said
the
that.
Paint's been damaged before. I'm just kidding.
He said that with all the resistance of somebody that said, can you look at my car sight unseen? Right?
Give him a quote right out.
Yeah, right.
You must get that all the time. Hey, I got this done. How much to fix it?
Oh,
right.
Every single day.
Oh, dude, it makes you want to rip out your eyeballs out of your head sometimes.
Yeah.
You just want to.
I used to. Now it's more of like I just kind of just educate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause I just say people they don't know. You know, but yeah, it does get aggravating sometimes.
I thought you were just gonna pull a magic suction cup and pop that dent in my door right now, but
yeah, that's what a lot of people think.
It's crazy. I didn't know how much goes into popping these dents, but I've been seeing videos and it's definitely catching on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say one thing though. His shop, you could eat off the floor.
Yeah.
That was the funny thing. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, we were over there the other day. I was like, did you meet Phil? And he was like, yeah, he was at our place. And I'm like, what? And then you're like, yeah, you've already visited before everybody even got there.
Did you meet Phil? I said, yeah, actually was there, babe.
I know. I was talking to him. He's like, you look so familiar. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, and we're looking at each other. And then we don't know where there's nothing. So it turns into that awkward look. And
you're running through the different wanted posters.
Like, you know Primo? And I'm like, yeah.
I know that
like,
guy.
all right. He goes, I was watching and I'm like, yes, that's me.
I know
it was
that
either like that morning or the night before.
Yeah.
Too funny.
Metal art guy there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Dan, I do seal coat, but this is cars, pal. Cars.
Do you see or I went to the shop. They said I blew a seal. I said, keep my personal life out of this.
Hey, can we?
I can't.
You know what? For once, I don't have anything, so I want to pass this on. What are your woes, Phil?
Yeah,
I want to hear this now.
It is woe time.
You like that? That was a little.
High five. About 17 episodes of me riding his ass and what are your woes? He finally has none, and I got like a boatload.
Sorry.
Finally,
had
the
to do
revenge
it.
that
Had to
he's
do
been
it to you.
looking for.
Go ahead. Where do we start?
Do you want to start at all? Or do you
What
wanna...
was up with the smart car? Who's driving the smart car?
Whoa,
today?
there's a smart car involved. Let's do it.
Yeah. No, that was Matt trying to
That's your tuna.
That's the one.
Figure some shit out.
That's
'Cause-
your
Do we have
tuna?
some, we have a little
Yeah,
update
that's
on
my
that? Or
tuna.
anything?
He was in the comments. Paris Racing. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
He did the
so-
wink, wink.
So before you show that,
Okay,
hang on.
which one? Well,
The
do we
one
want to
that
see
you're like on
that
right
one?
now. No,
That one?
None,
That one?
None of them yet.
that
Hang
one?
on.
That one? That one? That one? That
Yeah,
one? That one? That
none
one?
of
Okay,
those
yeah.
yet. None of those yet.
One of these is gonna work.
So
Yes.
he goes all calm.
There's a story. There's a story
Yeah.
to this. Okay. Cool.
So we've been planning. This dude, like, first of all, tell you
the technicals of what we fixed. It's
Listen,
so perfect.
I'm gonna botch this. He's gonna be so pissed.
Good.
So it was supposed to go in for just flex fuel, just to do the flex fuel. Put the sensor in, put it on the dyno, see what we make, call it a day. Okay.
Okay.
Next day, Phil. So the turbo's no good.
Oh no.
I'm like, all right.
No.
Yeah. Oh no, it gets better. The turbo's no good.
It gets better.
I said, okay. He's like, I got another one. Put it on. He goes, it's a little bit bigger, but it should be the same. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Got to call back like an hour later. Yeah, the turbo that I just put on, that one's no good either.
Damn.
And I'm like, oh no. He goes, I can't get this thing to spool. And I'm like, what the? I'm like, all right. And then he was like, oh, there's oil coming out of the exhaust. He goes, yep. Turbo's no good. I said, great. So he calls me that night. He goes, listen. He goes, because we've been using Juke turbos on it. They
Bolts right up.
yeah.
Nice.
Well, no, he had to make a manifold, dude.
Oh, yeah.
He's fabricated everything for this car. Like, there's not the only thing that's like from a actual company that hasn't been touched.
That fold up bumper. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's on the Sylvia. No, it's the D2
right.
the D2 coilovers. That's it. Other than that, everything you see on that car is like. So he calls me. He goes, hey. He goes, so I've been looking. He goes, a used Juke turbo is like $450. I said, okay. He goes, but it's got 70,000 miles on it. He goes, it's just gonna be, it's kind of. He goes, I found a Garrett. I think it was a GBC or GDC 20-300. He goes, it's good up to 300 horse. He goes, and the best part about it is if we need to go bigger, we can just take the wheels out and put new wheels in and use the housings. He goes, it's cheaper and it's easy to rebuild and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, GBC 2300.
Got it.
So I said, how much is that? He goes, after everything's all said and done, it's going to be like $850. And I'm like, shit. I was like, but we've come this far to just be like, yeah, no, turbo's junk. I just gotta. All right, fine.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Roll with the
Yeah,
punches.
do that, and then she made.
Do I get the picture now?
Not yet. Not yet. She made 191.
Okay.
She made 191,
Okay.
and then he goes, I can't get any more out of it. He goes, the injectors are maxed out, but they're good to like 800 horse. And I'm like, he was like, oh, it's not. There's no pressure regulator. He goes, it's making 33 pounds of boost. He goes, so the boost is actually putting pressure on the injectors, and it's saying the injectors are maxed out. He's like, it's not a rising rate fuel system. And I said, oh, okay. I totally didn't. I was like, that just went. Whew. But I just looked at him and said, okay. And so he was like, yep, 191. He's like, Phil, it has so much. Like, just pushing the button. Then he's sitting there. He's like, if I could just get 2 more degrees of timing. And I'm like, all right. He goes, oh. Then I see a light bulb because he stops and he does this. And he does just like, and you can see his brain working. Yeah. So we used, so the car has a water meth setup. And so he used that as like an auxiliary fuel system to give it the rest of the fuel it needs. And then the next morning, I get a phone call. He's freaking out.
Do I get to show it now? Go show it now.
200.2 horse and 185 foot-pounds of torque, and you can push the button.
Oh, no, wrong one. That's
wrong one.
Yeah, there you go.
Bam! 200.1, yeah. So
200.1.
We hit the 200. We hit the 200 mark. So we have. He got some of the stuff today. He got a fuel pressure regulator, the fuel lines. I think we're waiting for he's waiting for some other things, but we're gonna spruce up the fuel system.
Can we play the video?
Go for a little bit more. Yeah, you can play the video. This is the video of it on the dial.
Probably loud, so
it probably
is.
Oh yeah, it's definitely loud.
There you go.
At the end, it's gonna be really loud.
I'll turn it down a little bit more.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're waiting on the regulator. Just watch the flames come out of the back bumper.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. It'll do 220 with the right fuel setup.
There you go.
So yeah, we're doing that.
That's a lot. So for how much does that car weigh?
1,900 pounds. You know what the funny? You know what the funny part about it is that car started its life out as a car-to-go car. It's like zip car. It came from Canada. The guy who had the zip car thing. The car-to-go franchise, he was muling drugs in them, so they all got seized and stuff. And they all there's if you see a white smart car that's automatic and it has the gray that looks like mine almost, but not cool. That probably came from Canada from that guy. They seized everything. I've seen them all, and they seized them all. They came to auction. They came from Canada, and they started their life out with 70 horse.
Wow.
Yeah, and that one's pushing 200.
So a little bit more.
Yep. So I mean, dude, it's he took it today. When you saw him, he was trying to figure out, because we're having an issue, and we figured it out was something with the wideband 02. He texted me. He was like, dude, he goes, this car is fast. I'm like, I know, because all the time, I'll go to do it, I'll take it for a ride, and he's like, data log. He goes, and then send it to me. I said, all right. He's like, you didn't even put your foot to the floor. He goes, you're not supposed to roll into it. It's meant to stomp on it. I was like, dude, if I stomp on it, it just
goes.
It just goes.
It blows up.
Wow, look at that. Goddamn wideband controller died because Phil can't keep a battery alive. Thanks, asshole.
Wow, the comments are not kind today.
You think you can tune a Goldwing?
Probably. Yeah, listen. He'll take you down a very dark and expensive rabbit hole. Let me tell you.
I just want to straight pipe the Gold. You know, it'd be sick. Imagine. I mean, the manifolds coming off the side, 2 snails right off the 6-cylinder Goldwing.
Did you see what he said there? He's like, I can tune anything. There you go.
Challenge accepted.
Right? Yeah, hand him a black card. He's good.
No, but I can, honestly, it's just, he's got a gift. Because anybody else would look at that car and be like, what are you planning on doing?
It's not worth his time.
Just no. I honestly went in there for an exhaust. Just to throat it up a little bit, I didn't, and then next thing you know,
and 180 horsepower later,
200 horsepower later.
He says I don't have a gift, I have a sickness.
Yeah,
so there you go.
He's insane. He's insane. But
we should have him on at some point to talk about the sickness, because definitely. I think it's a sickness we all have. So
I wish I had a quarter of his brain. The dude is just, it's insane. It's insane.
So what we do is we sneak him in, we do the operation.
Yeah.
We're going to
download it.
Oh,
right.
Show him the drag car. Yeah, the 600 wheel horsepower Juke.
No, we'll wait for you to be on the show, and then we'll show a 600 wheel horsepower Juke. And I've seen the car, so I know.
Yeah. So anyways.
Yes.
Anybody else have any woes? You got any woes, Jay?
What does John have? What do you got for a car there, buddy?
I don't have any car right now.
You don't have anything? He walks. It's
yeah.
I gotta get an oil change next week.
Lucky.
I have the itch though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Get a smart car.
Yeah.
Get a smart car.
Yeah. I should.
We can make 200 horsepower. Tell me how I know.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go for 210 if he's at 2.
Right. Oh, listen, it's going to be at 220 come next week.
Well, I'm 230 then.
All right.
No.
That would be funny. Like start one upping each other.
Oh, yeah.
Next thing, it's like 600 horsepower.
Oh, we got nitrous coming too.
So
what?
I think we got to do the import face off, and you're running that thing down the track, right? You should. We got to do it for the car grumps, dude. You know how badass that would be.
So honestly, we had this conversation earlier. Like I was over there before I came here, and so he's honestly trying to figure out how to take full control over the transmission. It's
nasty.
great. Yeah, he's like
launch. Dude, that thing will wheelie off the line.
Oh yeah, he's like, I already started writing the code for the fuel tech to run the transmission, and I'm like,
you know how nasty that would be, especially on the track. You're gonna hook up, and I have a feeling that thing will lift the tires.
Not
if you get the launch right.
So if you look, the Smart could roll race, not drag. First and second gear on the DCT suck, dude. It's horrible. Like honestly, like I picked the worst car with the worst transmission to do the most coolest shit in.
So here's the deal. So
since for a race transmission, let's go.
You can't launch it. What's a fair head start? Half a second. Get you rolling.
You gotta get out of second gear.
I gotta get out of second gear.
Yeah, I can't match it until it's fully in third.
So you know what the funny thing is like the day that it came off the dyno and I took it, I was heading to Fall River and 40 roll. I was heading to Fall River, and it's so funny. This kid in the Acura TSX pulls up next to me, and I got the windows down, and I'm just cruising. I'm in like fifth gear. I'm just cruising. Do. All of a sudden, he looks over. He goes, "Hey, what's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, smart car." He goes, and now he's in a TSX. He goes, "That's gay." And I'm like, "All right." I downshifted, and I just matted it, like just rolled into it, and then, bam. He was just like, listen, he stayed behind me, and then when I was getting off my exit, he drove past, and he didn't even look. He stayed straight.
That's funny.
Like, I was just like, whoa. I was like, I actually shut somebody up in this thing. I was like,
that is cool.
Sick.
All right. Well, does your car have any dents?
Does it have any dents?
Yes.
No.
Would you like to have some dents fixed?
I do.
Yes.
Okay, so since we're going to go in, I got to ask John here. So I think a lot of people don't really understand the idea of dent repair versus like body repair or whatever. Can you explain to them the difference between basically what you do and why your thing is so much cooler?
Yeah, I mean, basically, you know, it's paintless dent repair. The whole thing is to keep something original. You know, you hold the value in it. But even today, with, you know, the tools and the technology and stuff, we do some stuff that has paint damage on it just to save like the panel and then keep the paint minimal. You know what I mean? But the ultimate goal is, you know, is to not paint something. But the stuff we're able to do, you know, when I started, we used to do little dents, little dings, but now we're doing, you know, panels that, you know, like that's a bottom of a cab corner. I mean, we never could do, when I first started, we could never do something like that because of where it is, you know. But now even like panels that, you know, we just finished a Tiguan that, you know, a body shop would have cut the quarter right off, the panel right off, and we were able to fix it. So not only to save that panel, but you would have painted half of the side of the car. I mean, you diminish the value of it. So it's important to keep it original. You know?
Oh, absolutely. Now that can you go back to that picture of the truck there, the cab corner?
Absolutely.
Now something like that.
Yeah.
That's got a mean crease in it.
Yeah, that crease is ugly.
That's got a crease. It's not a dent.
Yeah.
That's a crease.
Yeah.
Now what does something like that what does something like that to have it fixed, like roughly? Just
cost?
Like yes.
I remember exactly what that truck cost because it was when the new body style Tundra came out. Believe it or not, I had to loosen the bed of that and take the bed back because the way we do it and the way my light is. So I had to put the bed back. That dent was, I think that total thing was like $1,600.
Really?
Yeah. But it was the truck had like 800 miles on it. Someone hit him in a Dunkin' Donuts. It was... Her insurance paid for it. But again, you know, if I tried to fix that without taking the bed, and those new beds are actually cool. They bolt in from the top.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah. And they're like, like a composite type, those beds. I mean, the thing was light as could be.
No
but
kidding.
just take the 4 bolts and move it back. But if I tried to do that without that, I couldn't get my light around, and I wouldn't have been able to fix that dent 100%. You know.
Now, but I'm
what does
amazed
your
that you
light
can do
Is that
it.
for you just to? That's a stupid question, but is that just for you to
it's
see,
not a
or is that
no
like
question. That's
is that part of the process?
That is what I see everything. Like, I've been doing this 31 years.
Yeah.
I could never, that dent right there, 10 years ago, well, about 10 years ago is when we could finally start to do it, like, I mean, flawlessly, like, you cannot see, because we didn't have that light. I used to use a white board with a black spray painted line, and that's how I see the bottom. But what that light does is, it allows me to see, like, I'm always moving it. I got to see into the bottom of the dent, so every little push of my tool I can see, and I'm moving the metal.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, it is cool. You know, white cars and like silvers. Like I use it's either like a cool white or a warm light. So the warm is what I usually use. It's like a yellow type light. Yeah. And the white cars and the silver are actually real tough to see, though, the reflections. So I have different shield covers that can go over a light and stuff.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, to put like an R. Yeah, the tooling and stuff. Like when I was first taught, I got one set of tools. I got a bag, and I didn't get a new tool for 12, 15 years. I had that one bag of tools, and I just fixed little dings. I mean, I spend, you know, at least $1,000 to $3,000 a month on new tools.
No
That's
kidding.
crazy.
That's how
the funny thing is how much it looks like dentistry material, but it's like huge.
So I remember when I was over there, I looked in your shop and I saw something. You had like these like stick things, like something glued to the side of the car, and it had like these things sticking out.
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
So I'm trying to remember what car was in there. I know there was an Audi in there that I was doing real bad hail damage.
Yes. I think that was the one, because that thing looked like a golf ball. Like, dude, like it hailed hard.
Yeah,
and like,
that was the worst hail car I've ever done. That was over 20 grand damage.
I remember I saw he had
From Texas.
You had everything circled. You had all the dents circled, and the thing looked like a friggin' golf ball. Like that thing got hit at every angle.
I thought it was just instantly totaled at that point with all the damage. What I mean, it must have been a really nice Audi.
It was a 21 A5 Sportback. Mm-hmm. So the car was still worth like 40, 45.
Right. So they're not gonna total it out.
Yeah. And actually, it was already in a shop, and that particular car was already in a shop in Texas, and they were gonna replace the hood, they were gonna replace the roof, and both doors. So once we got it, you know, and we dealt with the insurance, once we saw the final number, the customer, because he didn't want to, you know, the hood, I probably should have, but that's the thing, when you have real passion on what you do, like whatever it took to fix it, I was willing to, you know what I mean? Because there's some dents when they're overstretched, like when they're real big, which that car had many of them. I actually have another technique, like you can actually oil can the dent, and you push it up and you just flop it, and it's just, now it's like boink, boink, boink. So what we can do is we grind the back of it, you grind the E-coat, and I can do it to aluminum and regular steel, and I have like a little welder type thing, and I actually shock the metal from underneath, and I tighten the metal, and then I'll tighten it up a little bit, and then knock it down and working it like I'm using my tools, but I'm using this rod until it gets tight enough, and then I can finish the dent.
Wow. Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. And that, like, I've only been able to, with that type of machine, I actually just got a second one when I went to Jersey last week. I stopped at my buddy's in Connecticut and bought, he had another one, a newer one that I actually bought off of him. So now I have two of them. But that machine, the first machine I've only had for probably like 3 years. So
no kidding.
Yeah. So now I can save a lot of, you know, and I use the thing. I used it today.
No kidding.
I used it today. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy that the dents that, we're basically, that's like we were saying, someone call, how much to do this? Like, it's every dent is different. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And all our pricing is based off the actual size of the dent, the depth, and then any factors. And the factors would be, if it's aluminum, if it's high strength steel, like your car, that's the thing. You can always tell a good dent guy with high strength steel, because a good dent guy, you can't see their work. Another dent guy, you see little poke marks, and that's because high strength steel is real springy, so it's difficult to finish, Right. But all these cars today have aluminum or high strength steel.
So how long did it take to actually learn that whole thing and like figure it out? So it's like whenever somebody brings something in, you go, okay, well I got it out, and it's obviously an ongoing learning experience.
I was just gonna say, I still learn every single day. Mm-hmm. I actually teach PDR, but I still learn myself every single day. I guess the answer to your question is basically what I'm looking for is, now that I have these different type where I can shrink, if I know there's no brace behind it, usually when I look at something, I can tell if it's fixable or not, if it's repairable or not.
Now, what do you charge? Now, is it just one class, or is it like when you teach it, is it like one class, or do like these people come in and like shadow you? Or?
Yeah. So I have all different types of training programs. When people, a lot of people reach out to me and they're like, oh, I want to, because there's schools out there. I'm not a school. I'm a one-on-one trainer. So you're going to get the most out of it. And the biggest thing is, I teach PDR as a process. We call it PDR, paintless dent repair. I teach it as a process. That way, if you stick to the process, the better you get, because it's like anything, the more you do, the better you get, right? So, but if you stick to the process, you can learn on your own and grow as a technician on your own. But people, a beginner is usually, it's a 4-week program. But people reach out to me and I ask them, what's your goal at the end of the 4 weeks? And they're like, oh, I'm going to start my own business. And I almost push them away, because
it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. It really takes if you're really thorough on something in your life, and it could be anything, it could be a yard or something, if you're real meticulous, that's the type of person you have to have the patience and willing to learn it.
And how much, like you I know you said it before, I forgot the year and I don't want to say it because I might get it wrong, but in all the time you've done it, how long have you done it, and how much has changed in the industry from the time you started from what it is now, the different metals and all the different ways and stuff they build cars?
So I've been doing it 31 years now.
That's what I thought.
And I'm living my dream. And what I mean by that is, when I first started, my dad was a body guy, right? So, and when I first heard about it, I went home and gave him the guy's number, and I figured he would want to learn it. And I had no idea it was for me at that point. But when I finally, I gave my father, I kept asking him every day, did you call the guy? And finally he's like, yeah, I did. And I'm like, oh, you're going to, he's like, no, I thought you meant you want me to use the guy. So then a company approached me. That's how I got into it. I was, 19 when I was first introduced to it. So what I used to do, the dings, me and my father I would be at his body shop, and he used to, actually, when I first started doing work for him, the first dent I went to look at, and I was already a year and a half, 2 years into it. He called me up and I'm like, wow, this is a tough dent. So I fix it. And he calls me on the second one the next week, and I go back and I fix it again, and all the guys were laughing at me, and I'm like, why are they laughing at me? So I'm like, Dad, why are they laughing? He's like, they're not laughing at you. They're laughing because the other dent guy we used couldn't do it. And my father was pushing me without pushing me. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
So, and me saying that is, we used to point at dents, and he's like, imagine if you could do that, and imagine and like I said, today, even today, it amazes me every single day what's in my shop that we're able to repair that, it's now my dream, because I always used to say, well, imagine someday we'll be able to fix that, or
and now you do.
And now we do. And also the way I run the shop is, I'm basically, again, in Massachusetts, is to be a body shop, you have to have an RS number to deal with insurance and all that. And that's what we are basically a body shop. So even if it did need paint, just because we don't paint there at the shop, we sent it out and have it painted. So,
But that means, so basically you saying that insurance can cover things. And,
Yep. The insurance company has to negotiate with us because we're a registered shop. Now, technically, they don't have to write it the way I write it, which I try to do, by the way. And this is a big thing, too. People Carfax with insurance companies. The thing with us is we write it, like I said, based off the size, the depth, and then factors, whether it's on a body line, so-and-so, so forth. So
that's how I choose my girlfriends, I think.
Now, an insurance company, and a lot of people think PDR is, little dents, or they think, it's $100 or something.
Hell no.
So then the insurance company's coming in, like that white Tiguan I showed you, and I'm giving him a $5,000 estimate, and he's like, can you even fix, this can't be fixed. So they have to write it a conventional way. They don't have to write it our way. And writing it a conventional way could trigger a Carfax. So years ago, when I went into the shop, I contacted Carfax and I explained what I was doing. And I said, if they're writing to replace a door and we're not replacing it, and now there's a Carfax, why, in Carfax said, if you document your repair, and at the end of it, if a Carfax comes up on that particular car, there's a link that I have that the customer has to do it, but they can show proof that we repaired it, and they would remove it, and they would remove it.
There's no Bondo.
That's pretty, well, yeah. With me, Bondo would be a lot. With that one, I can see.
or even like the Tiguan I keep talking about that I was just showing Jay. They wrote to cut the quarter, to replace that quarter. So, I educated the customer, listen, in 60, 90, 120 days, if it shows that there's a Carfax, then, take my invoice and get in touch with them and see if you get it removed,
Nice. Now, okay, Jay, so where were you taking notes? Because we're going to need that later.
Now, have you ever, done a dent?
Mm-hmm. He did done a dent?
And it come back? Like the dent,
that's a good question. I've never thought of that before.
It popped back in or whatever, because you were talking about the oil can type thing.
Yeah.
You ever have something like that happen?
Never.
No.
So metal has memory.
I like the sheer just no.
Well, no, it's a good quiz. I'm going to explain. Say you get a basketball-sized dent, right? Yeah. A quarter, and metal has memory. There's no body lines there or anything. Metal has memory, so you could get behind it. I recommend do not do it, or do not do it and then bring it to me, because I don't like repairing. You could push it, right? And it would look better. But what would happen was it would pop out, and then all around it, you'd have all these, we call them crowns.
Yep.
And
yes.
So that makes 10 times the amount of work for us to, you know what I mean? Because now I'm fixing a bone.
So you're saying don't fix the dent when you're fixing the dent,
right? Meaning, a little dent or even a big dent. When we repair it, we're putting the metal back to its form.
Right.
It's not. You're not losing any strength.
Yeah.
What I like to add to it too is I think a lot of people don't understand is there is a molecular structure, and what you want to do is get those lines of molecules to line up. Yep. And when you push it back into place, you just took all those molecules and crunched them up like this. Yep. And now he goes in to go fix it, and he wants to straighten it up. He's got to take all those little it's like pulling up a piece of paper and trying to straighten it again. Yep. It's a whole different nightmare. And I just think that's the way you do it, and seeing that stuff come together. I can see it scientifically, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to comprehend it scientifically, and my brain's starting to boil.
Yeah, well, even on like a
more than normal, right? Both.
Yes.
Say you have a metallic silver,
yeah,
or even a pearl. again, there's a lot to it that people don't realize. Like, we have to put, say you have a real deep dent in silver, which we just had a Porsche, an aluminum Porsche. The guy's weed whacker fell on the door. It was extremely deep.
How much sleep did he lose before he met you?
Yeah, I know. He did lose a lot of sleep. And I lost a lot of sleep repairing it because it wasn't a big dent. It was probably, I think it was like a 6-inch dent, but it was very complex. Like, it took me a long time to figure it out. But even when I'm bringing that up, you can't put too much heat on it because what happens is you will break the molecules in it. You know what I mean? So then you'll fix the dent and you'll see a discolor in it.
Yeah.
So
it begins to liquefy again.
Exactly. So,
well, I know I had the white on my car, and when you fixed my car, I came back, and to this day, I don't remember where the dent was. Like, it's
didn't
gone.
Pop back.
No, there was no. Well, if it popped back, it was not because of you. So
it's just like, I don't know. It's crazy. Like it's insane. Like I remember when I went. I was like, so what do you do? And he kind of like gave me the rundown, and I didn't ask any more questions because I was so lost.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to comprehend and like grasp.
Yeah.
And like looking around at all the tools. Like, dude, he has like this little cart thing that goes around, and he has like a light at the top of it, if I remember correctly. And I'm like, holy shit. But then I looked. I was like, wow, this place is fucking clean.
Isn't it cool how much it's lit more than the studio is?
And then what got me was he had a Mercedes in there. I was like, dude, that's sick.
That was the 99 ML 500 with 30,000 miles.
He's always got a Mercedes.
Mercedes, 3-piece wheels. I was like,
yeah.
Wasn't there a G-Wagon one time that you had to do this work on? It was like in the middle of everywhere. It was so cool.
That is my favorite. That is my favorite vehicle.
I've done a G-Wagon. I've done a McLaren hood.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I think
that 765 McLaren.
But that G-Wagon though.
Yeah.
I did a matte. The last G-Wagon I did was a matte black. And the guy's garage door came down. It was coming down. He was backing out of the garage and hit that corner.
Let's say, how are those matte colors?
They're extremely difficult because, so what I teach is, like, I used to, before my light and stuff, say I would get a dent looking decent, but I couldn't, like, the texture, because I couldn't see it, the factory orange peel. I would lightly wet sand it, right? But I hated that because now you're making it flat. You don't have that. You can, I mean, the dent's gone, but it's not. It's different, right? The texture's different.
The depth is gone.
Right. So on matte, and even like now, I barely ever do any wet sanding. But sometimes you'll have a scuff or a scratch that I wait until I absolutely have to buff it, right, to get the scratch. Matte, you absolutely cannot polish it or anything.
Nope.
So you have to go extremely slow and just be, try to be so accurate.
Pray to God.
Yeah.
And then Mercedes introduced that satin color, which is like even worse.
Yeah. and when I put my light on it, also, it messes with the reflection. So what I actually put over the dent is I'll either put a piece of PPF or I'll actually put clear packing tape.
What the hell's PPF?
Paint protection film.
Oh, okay.
Like I'll just put it over the dent, right? Or even just clear packing tape.
Yeah.
And what it does is it makes that shiny.
Reflection.
It gives me the reflection and shiny, so then I can see my tool.
I feel like we need to introduce PPF to Phil now.
You know what? After this episode, you're gonna see
some changes.
Just RP.
The dent.
RP.
I'm not gonna have the M.
No.
And you're gonna see me. It's gonna be Phil's botched paintless dent removal.
Phil makes the dents, you fix them.
You're gonna see me. He has these like complex tools and stuff like that. You're gonna see a small ball peen hammer, a slightly bigger ball peen hammer, a rubber mallet, and then a sludge hammer. What's that for? That's for the real big ones.
Right.
Why? Because metal has memory.
He hasn't seen your.
It's gonna remember not to pop back in after I'm done with it.
He hasn't seen your bumper though. That other one that moves around on its own.
I think it was wild.
I got a front bumper.
We got to show him that. That's awesome.
For my Sylvia, right? the box was like 2x2. The bumper came
the whole bumper
up inside a box.
A rolled up bumper.
I swear to God. So I'm like, and they're so I didn't know what a KBD body kit was, and it's like a polyurethane body kit.
Yeah.
So I went to New Hampshire with my buddy Manny. We went in his truck and we went and picked up this body kit. He said, "Yeah, the side skirts and the rear bumper are KBD, the front bumper's fiberglass." I said, "That's fine for the price I'm paying. That is totally fine." So they're explaining to me that the KBD, the bumpers and the side skirts came rolled up, and I'm looking and I'm like. So, and they're going.
It was so weird to see too.
And I'm just like, and I'm looking at both of them, and I'm like laughing along, like, ha ha ha! I'm not gonna fall for this joke. Just kind of like, you know what KBD is? Yeah, of course. You know, you guys just rolled up. And I thought it was some big joke, right? So then I'm driving around the mean streets of Fall River. My front bumper, because it's fiberglass. And the car's so low, what's it decide to do? Start to brake. So I said, all right, I got to order a KBD front bumper in my... So, okay. So then there's a box on the front porch.
It's like 2 foot by 2 foot.
I'm like, what the hell did I order this small? And I said, KBD bumpers. And I'm like, no fucking way. I'm like, no. I was like, no way. I was like, this is a joke. I was like, maybe this is a free T-shirt that they send with. And sure as shit, I open the box and there's this big piece of polyurethane all rolled up and saran wrap. And I'm like,
wow.
I opened it up. I opened it up in my garage.
He unrolled it like a Twizzler.
Yep, it unrolled like and the thing opened up and it was all like, and I'm like, there's no way. And my buddy Manny was like, dude, you leave it out in the sun. I left it out in the sun, and that thing popped right in. I'm like,
into play.
You gotta be shitting me. Yeah. I nail every speed bump. I nail the parking bumpers. I hit those. That thing's all folded. I was driving the other day coming off the highway, and some guy looks. He's like, "Your bumper!" And I get out. The bumper's all like folded, dragging on the ground. Yeah. Pops right back into place. I'm like, dude,
it's all good.
This is sick.
Yep.
Yeah. I ripped it off like twice. Oh, right back on. I'm like, dude, this.
It was so weird to watch you come over and you just like kicked it and it folded in.
The
and
whole thing
like
folded in. He was like, "What are you doing?" And I popped it back out. I was like, "Isn't this sick?" Yep. I was like, "What the hell?" Like, I still can't grasp it though. Yeah. Like, I just like.
We get a lot of people that call us with you know those the bumpers dented, and we heat them and put tools behind them and something, you know.
Really?
Yeah. Like it all depends. I mean, it's usually on a corner.
Yeah.
When it's, you know what I mean? Like it's not crinkled, but it's crazy that, you know, the first one I did, it was by accident. Like I was like, yeah, right, this can't be done. And I heated it up and it just went like back. And then I'm like, oh, imagine if we put a dent tool behind there and like finished it off. So now you can like finish them off pretty good.
Hey, Matt, are you still watching? Because I got a funny story actually when me and Matt were kids.
So what about wrapped cars? What do you do about them?
So wrapped cars or cars with PPF on it, it all depends. Like that, like it's an additional factor like in the pricing. So I try to do it with it. Mm-hmm. You know, if I can do it, like there's a little button I click, I forget what it adds, a percentage. But usually when I see it, I should, like if it's too deep and I really gotta, cause you gotta remember when I'm bringing the metal up, a lot of times I bring it up, I knock it down. I bring it up, I knock it down. So I try to, if I can bring a dent up cleanly and slow, that's what I've learned in all my years. Slower is faster. So I'll work on something and I'll step back and figure it out until if I can bring it without doing any knockdown and real clean, that's how I like to do it. But sometimes you just have no choice if it's too sharp. Right. So once you have a sharp, it's just when you stop beating on the wrap or the PPF, you damage it. So, you know, so it's usually case by case, you know what I mean? If it can be done like that.
So back about 10 years ago, did you ever see the way people were trying to take big dents out of their cars? They would heat it up with like a blow dryer or something like that, and then
ice.
They would they would hit it with like something cold right after.
Yeah.
So a buddy of mine.
We were laughing before the joke even started.
Is this Matt?
No, Matt was there.
Oh, okay.
Matt was there. It was our friend Tony. So he had this car and had this giant dent. So we see like YouTube. YouTube is like starting to become the big thing, and everybody's posting stuff on. So we see that people are heating up the dent like really hot.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, they're hitting it with something cold. Like, it's usually they were taking bags of ice and putting the bags of ice on it. And, oh, look at that. Dent gone. Dent gone. And we're like... And so Tony's got this... He's like, we can do that. So we're in my father's garage. I got a heat gun. Yeah. We're legit heating the shit out of this dent. Then all of a sudden, we don't think, like, where's the cold stuff? Right? All of a sudden, they're like, we need ice, we need ice. I was like, I don't have any ice. Like, we need something cold fast. Here I come. I had a Ford Focus. I opened the back hatch of the Ford Focus. I still got a full bottle of nitrous. Now, nitrous is really cold.
Oh, that's cold.
Yeah.
Dude. So, all of a sudden, they're like, you ready? And then I go, and I'm like, yep. And then they look over, they're like, what the fuck? I was like, go! They both ran, and I opened the bottle, but I opened the bottle like way too much, and there was so much force behind there, it actually sent me backwards into the wall. I was stuck to the wall with the tank. It was a 15-gallon tank, a 15-pound tank to my chest with the everywhere. Oh yeah, and we still didn't get the goddamn dent out.
Well, it's funny you say
Phil developed a dent instead.
I used to use, like, before that little shrinking tool that I have, like, say I was doing something that was real stretched, I would heat it, work, and then I would, put ice, try to shrink the metal like that.
So does that technique actually work?
No.
Okay.
But
because I felt like a failure.
You can shrink metal like that, but people say dry ice in this, it doesn't. And then I also hear that people... because we do motorcycle tanks too and fenders.
Really?
Yeah, I have like this custom stand that I mount them to, and I have customers call that say they put someone sent me something where they put air in the gas tank and it pops the dent out.
Wow.
Which
The pressure.
Yeah. And it has to be the perfect when you have a sharp dent, you have
It would be my luck. I'd blow the tank up. That's how it would work.
I would be scared. I'll tell you what. I'd be scared
shit.
Yeah.
No, hell no. Yeah. But it'd be right up my alley because I am one of.
I would try it.
I'm a person who does really dumb shit all the time. So I'd be like, yeah, give me that.
Yeah, so we excel at it. We might as well stick to what works.
Yeah, I almost lost an eye with one of those bead blasters. So I'm game for anything. I'm ready to rock and roll. No, so now what do you charge? So you say you do like you're not a school, you do the one-on-one teaching.
Yes. So
what does something like a 4-week course, basic 4-week course? What's something like that run somebody?
$20,000.
$20,000 for 4 weeks.
No, that's the Phil price.
And then
is it a 4-week course, or is he just saying 4 weeks?
There is a thing that it's a beginner. What I do is you can't even go on my website and get those prices. When you fill out a training thing, you get an automatic, which my nephew did an unbelievable job of building me a whole CRM system and
nice.
What replies back and you have to go through a little thing, and then once you get on a phone call with me, I talk. Until I have that conversation, I won't even give anyone a price because I want to know. But what?
So it's like Fight Club where they send out the front and you just tell them, you guys suck, you'll never do it.
If someone's going to commit to that 4 week, which is $20,000, they get a free week. It's 5 weeks. And what they also get is they get into my little circle of ongoing mentorship. And what that is
cool.
What that is I have technicians every single day that will call me. They're working on something. They'll send me a clip of something, and I say, oh, grab this tool or this, just from experience and, you know what I mean, fixing or being in situations. So it's like an ongoing. But then I also have different, like I have an advanced training that, say someone's been doing it 5-10 years. It's a 1 week that's $7,500.
Yeah.
And basically what that is it's basically working on the damage that we're doing in our shop on a day-to-day. But I can literally change someone that's already been doing. I can change their life in 1 week.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Now, how much is it for me to go in there for one day and just shadow you and try to absorb as much knowledge as I can?
40,000.
You can hang out any day you want.
I would drive him nuts. He would pay me to leave. He'd be like,
can you imagine? Like you walk out, you're like, I don't know how much damage he did,
here's
but
$1,000. Just get the hell out of here.
What I usually do, this is what, if someone really wants to get into PDR, what I do is we came up with my nephew I saw was watching. He's probably going to kill me if I get this wrong. I don't even have it in front of me.
It
used to be a 3-day.
Is this the one right here?
Yeah, that's my nephew.
Yeah.
So I think it's it's either a 2 or 3 day program. And what it is it's under $3,000. And basically what I do in those 3 days is the first thing I teach is the light. Okay.
Yeah.
How to read the light.
Yeah.
Some people pick it up in a day, usually not. Some people take a couple weeks. Some people, it takes them a month. So
and some people can't even grasp it.
I try to push people away. Like the people that I do a month training, these are people that we're talking for 6 to 8 months prior, and I'm preparing them for it. And then, but this 3-day program, what I teach is, I teach the light and how to leave. You can buy a light and a few tools that I recommend, and you can go home and continue to make dents and practice. Then if you want to come back and do it a week at a time.
Phil's already ready to sign up once you said we make dents.
Imagine just going over to your neighbor's car like,
well,
don't worry, I'll take care of that for you.
He's like, that's not what I meant.
The more you put into it, then when you come back, we're progress. You know what I mean? You get the most out of it. So because it is really tough to do a full week and think that you're gonna be done at the end.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But it's one of those things where, like you even said, you've been doing it for what, 31 years now? Yeah. And you said you're still learning something new every friggin' day. Yeah. So it's just like the amount of growth, like honestly, like you can be a professional, but you're not truly a professional because you don't know all the tricks.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm not saying that like as like, but it's like what it is, it's just one of those things. It's always evolving. There's always some new technique come out.
Exactly.
And there's other people that do it and they come up with an idea. Now this must be other like paintless dent removal people around. Like, do you guys work together or like
Yeah, I network with guys across the country or actually the world.
You don't have any arch enemies out there?
Danny, it's called
around
RPM
here,
Dent.
I mean, I did have which we're gonna start doing it again, but we had March 7th of 2020, I had, when I first got into my shop, I had a tech meetup, and it was guys from all around the country, but a good portion of guys around here, New England area and stuff. And, they came for the day, and we just kind of shared tips and tricks and stuff like that. But I constantly network. I mean, I have a bunch of my friends own they design tools daily, always coming up with new things.
Well, that's sick though.
So, it's always evolving. Like it's just constantly.
It's just one of those things. It's always changing.
Yeah.
It's always.
And the biggest thing with me is when I left Dent Wizard is who I was the 11th kid to go work for that company in New England. And I worked for them for 9 years, and when I left them, I traveled and did some hail for a couple years. We call it the hail trail. Wherever it would hail, I would go there and do it. But then there was about a 10-year span that I didn't talk to another dent guy. I wasn't online, this and that. I just put my head down and focused. And then I went to, they call it MTE. It's called Mobile Tech Expo. I went there one year, and I just started interacting with everyone, and I never stopped. That's where I just brought myself back in, and the thing was, I told myself, you got to keep, no matter how good you get or how good you think, you got to stay real humble and an open mind, because that's why one of the 1 week program things I have, that's why it's so expensive, because that person that I can train and change their life, they don't want to be open-minded, but if they do, I mean, we've been working on some content that, with some guys that have done it. So we're going to start putting it out a little bit more. But if they would just open their mind and I could literally take them to a level that, it took me all these years to get to. So you got to stay open-minded.
That's awesome, though. Like, there's not a lot of people out there that would do that in any kind of industry.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, hey, how much?
I'm not going to teach. Right.
No, I'm not. I learned on my own.
Right.
You go learn on your own.
Right.
I used to feel that way about drones. Like when I got into the drone stuff, I didn't want to talk to anybody about it. I don't want to give you any tips, secrets. Didn't tell you about the testing. But then I started to realize there's so much work to go around.
So much work to go.
I mean,
they're not going to interfere. You're better off being that mentor.
Exactly.
Being on top.
That's how I always said. There's plenty of room at the top.
I'm not going to teach anybody nothing, because then when you're stuck in the mud, you stay stuck in the mud.
That's
You
right.
ain't going fucking nowhere. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the biggest problem, and I'm sure in your industry, everyone's industry.
Every industry.
You see, the big thing is, people don't understand. They think it's PDR is a cheap repair, and it's not. It's actually a better repair. It's the best repair if it's possible, but there's a lot of cheap guys out there because they don't take the time to finish it, or it's I did it. I used to be a used car. That's where I made my money, fixing used cars. Like quick. They want everything. That same dent. That I used to get $50 or $100 for. To try to fix it. Now sometimes it could be an $800 or a $1,200 dent. It's just whatever it is. But it might take me days to fix it.
The skills and the quality.
Yeah, and that's
not even that. It might take you 10 minutes to fix something. You're charging $30,000, but you're not paying for that 10 minutes. You're paying for the 30 years that it took you to gain that experience.
But what I found funny is, like, before I worked in the car industry, I didn't even know that dent repair even existed. That was such a usable place to have guys to be able to say, hey, wow, this one little thing, we don't have to send it to a body shop and spend $6,000 to do it. You called some guy that came over and it's like, oh, look, half the time did the repair. There's no record on Carfax of anything. It's just a little tiny dent, and it's no harm, no foul kind of thing. And then I was like, I want to use this for my personal car. And of course, being in the car world, you dent your car constantly working in that industry. Yeah. So it was like, that's when I found you, and I was like, yeah, I'm and the crazy thing was how many people had recommended you. Like, constantly, it was nonstop. It was like, no, RPM dent repair. And it was just great to be able to have somebody that was local that I could just be like, here you go. So. Oh
yeah, until a couple of months ago, I thought it was all a crock of shit. Like, I would see like mobile dent repair and this and that and blah blah, and like the picture that they had up was like the bed of a truck right up top, like the top of the bed, like where the crease is, like, and it was like this, or in the corner of the bed, like this giant dent, and then there'd be another picture. Oh yeah, no paint was moved. Shit, I was like, that is such a crock of shit, And then I would see people like, oh, paintless dent repair. I was like, paintless dent repair, my ass. I was like, paint cracks so easy, and then all of a sudden I'm doing a job, and he opens his garage and shows me around, and it looked like a dentist office.
Yeah,
I was like, so this stuff is real? I'm like, yeah. And then I saw the golf ball shaped Audi. There, like he had all that. I was like, what is that? He goes, hailstorm. He goes, this came from Texas. I was like, oh,
big money cars too going through there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like there was some gorgeous stuff, but I'm just like, so. And then I see all this stuff, like the light. Like I know it. Like I saw a light. I know it's one of the lights you was talking about, like on top of the stand. And I'm like, yeah. This place is. But then I looked at the floor. I was like, I could eat off this thing. Like, this guy is like tip top. Oh, this place is nice. Even my guys were like looking through they're like, oh my God, it's beautiful in there. there. I was like, don't go in there. You're going to get it all dirty. I was like, just stand back. I was like, look from afar.
Right.
So where are you located?
244 North Main Street in Raynham.
You know, do me a favor. Just let everybody know where to find you. Because I know you're on Instagram, you're on other places. Let them know, because there's a couple of guys who have asked on the thread there that.
Yeah, everything should just be at RPM Dent Repair. That should be all my social medias and everything.
You know what? This poor guy, I'm gonna go
check out the swag.
I know. Is this stuff for us? Because he's handing me a hat, and I'm like,
yeah, he came bearing gifts.
Brought you all of that.
Yes. Look at that. I love hats.
There you go.
That actually fits you.
Any stickers? Any stickers?
No, but you know, it's funny. My
stickers to cover dents.
Oh, sticker. Right. I thought you said sneakers. My buddy that owns, he makes tools. It's called Dent Reaper. I have a pair of sneakers that he had made with his.
No kidding.
What?
Dude, that's sick, though.
I want to do that. Do we need Car Grumps sneakers? Let's do this.
Hey, listen.
Should.
Can they be Air Forces?
That'd be cool.
I will be whatever Vans.
I would love to have like a set of Mayor Phil with a little crown on the tongue. That would have been perfect. Official Car Grump merchandise. That's what we need to go for.
Some sneakies, some
New Balance.
Danny's like New Balance. Nobody here owns a Corvette,
great
buddy.
on my Goldwing.
Yeah.
Somebody was cracking on me. I had a pair of Adidas on my Goldwing. Like, leave me alone, all right? I'm a dad.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
I think I earned it.
Yeah.
Let's check out these shirts right there.
Yeah, let's do the shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do there's a camera there.
Oh, sick. Check that out.
Look at that.
Damn.
Look at that.
Look.
Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Just look at it.
Yeah, Urpum Dent
We're
Repair.
gonna focus on our YouTube this year.
So you're gonna do?
Thank
some
you.
Stuff?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh hell yeah.
He's got so much good content too.
Yeah, my nephew's he's been around me, for forever, but I told him I would never train him until he asked me, and he finally asked me to train him. So he's actually been finally using the tools since January, and he's doing phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Good job, John.
But now, he's on. I saw him earlier.
John, where you at?
But now what we want to, because every time I post something, I'm like, I feel like I'm just showing, look what I did. I want to educate.
Yeah.
So we've been talking, and we got a lot of things that we've already been working on so all these things you guys are at, and I can show not just the repair we're doing, but just a piece of it and explaining what we're doing. So that's what we want to
see. I think that's huge to be able to walk people through it. Yeah.
But there's a big difference between humble and cocky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like some people will take like humble as cocky and cocky. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But it's just like you just got to know. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then it's just like educating people with stuff like that. And I mean, I used to do the same thing, be like, I don't want to come off as like cocky or whatever.
Yeah.
And my friends would be like, dude, it's you.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? And I'm like, do you give a shit? And I was like, honestly, to tell you the honest truth, not one. You know what I mean? And then you just got to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially something like that where it's like you're one of the first people I've ever seen. I never saw you do it, but like one of the first people that I've ever met. And how long have I been in this industry with all this car stuff?
Too long.
Yeah, exactly. You're one of the first people that I've ever like talked to that does like dent repair.
Yeah.
That doesn't sand it down, slap a coat of Bondo on it or a new panel and repaint the whole car. You know what I mean? Like,
which is important, in a car world, not
absolutely.
to, I mean, you're going to have your custom paint jobs that have been redone, but you also have your original things that you don't want to paint.
But the thing is too is just like, I get a fresh new paint job.
Yeah.
6-7 months in, the kids next door are playing ball, and I just got done washing the car. I'm letting it air dry outside. Then all of a sudden, donk, and then I gotta, it's my fault. It's the kid's fault. It's everybody's fault. You can't kill nobody. What do? You call RPM.
Yep. You can.
You know what I mean?
Oh, mine was so I had the Genesis. I probably had it maybe a year, and there was those little stone balls that they have outside of a place, and you know how the car's lowered anyway. I opened the door and I stopped myself just in time to hit it, and then I was like. And I was like, that was when I was like, okay, well, time to see if this guy's worth his salt. And notice you don't know where the dent is, so
but it's just, but like his shop is it's like state of the art. Like it's like a lab.
Right.
It's like a lab mixed with like a dentist office.
That's awesome. I'm definitely gonna swing by and check it out.
It's great. It's insane. And it's,
Bring the drone with me.
Yeah.
it's beautiful inside. You know what I mean? And like everybody, even the guys next door to you, the detail guys and stuff like that. With Aaron.
Yeah.
They're wicked nice guys too, and it's beautiful inside there. You know what I mean? Like him. It's great.
Yeah.
You know, it's honestly like you could spend a whole day there.
Yeah.
And of course, Vinny shows up.
Vinny!
Exactly. What's up, Vin?
When we're getting ready to close out.
Me and him are gonna make a reel soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're supposed to do the drive-through reel. You know.
I know we got to do a drive-through reel.
Yes.
And then we got to do one where
make that happen.
It's gonna be Vinny sitting there with his back facing a blind stripper throwing money this way, and then I'm gonna turn him around and be like, actually throw it that way, and then the blind stripper's gonna be it's gonna be awesome. Yes.
Well, be ready, Vinny, because he's coming.
Here's my wife. I just said the whole thing. Oh boy, I'm in trouble now.
Now you ain't going with Vinny no more.
Oh, I'm going with Vinny. I still can't get over that meme that I sent. I see light gray, medium gray, dark gray, and then the guy's like, "Oh, never mind, I'm colorblind." And I sent it to him, and I'm like, "Oh shit."
It's like, you asshole, I am blind.
Yeah, I know. And he still busts my balls about it, the bastard.
Welcome to the party.
He has the greatest sense of humor, though.
Oh,
Perfect.
Vinny's
the man. Vinny is the
fucking
man.
Yep.
Cheers to you, Vin.
Yeah, I ain't got no. Yeah.
You drink?
I drank both of them.
Wow.
Oh, man.
He's having that bad a week, guys. Did you hear about the smart car? If you haven't, go to the beginning of the video and you can see it
check
there.
it out.
And that reminds me, because remember, every Wednesday at 7 p.m., we're on all the different channels everywhere.
Like and subscribe.
The next day, we will have everything up on things like our iHeartRadio, podcast, Spotify,
He's getting ready
all
to do
those
the
as
thing.
well.
He's getting ready to click the button.
He is.
Don't you dare do it.
Where are we at on YouTube for subscribers?
Swear to God.
How
Like
many?
15. No,
You
I'm
need
kidding.
15 more?
No, I'd probably.
No,
yeah,
we're
that's
I'm
probably-
going to
about
make
where
some
we were.
fake accounts here in a minute.
Yeah,
I wanna
we're gonna
dance
Don't you
do
push
something.
it. Look at it. He's getting closer.
Damn it.
Don't you do it.
What? I haven't said anything. But anyway,
Flip out.
so every
No,
Wednesday
don't
at
listen to
7
him, guys. He's
p.m.,
so full
you
of
guys can
shit.
check us out live. And if not, like I said, Thursday morning, the other part of the podcast go up so that you guys can check that out too.
Oh, you know what? I
And-
need to make a reel where my smart car is like going down the road. All of a sudden, it goes,
Blows up.
"Wah!" and then the little aborigine,
Bang!
the little aborigine from the Thornberries is like,
Yeah. Well, do the baby one? Do that baby meme where he's like,
That's Donnie.
or just like zoom, do like a flyby, and all of a sudden the little kid in the car, a bullshit. A bullshit.
That's hilarious.
So yeah. So when are you taking the car to the track?
The end of February.
End of February.
Yep, February 32nd.
February 32nd.
I just got a good video of you popping that thing.
Oh yeah, you did.
So yeah, wait till you see when I get home. I'm gonna send you exactly what you just said.
Oh, there you go.
We'll
Right.
post it up. I'll post
Hey, you know what? We could always do this again, and just
Oh no,
Just
this,
look at that.
like this sounds good, but the video that Jay got,
You got a better video?
Oh yeah.
Jay does.
Just
yeah,
look
it
at this.
sounds
Look
like-
at the fire pop
Look at
out of the
just
back
watch
of
the
that.
little fireballs just fly out of the rear bumper.
Yeah.
Just it's
Dude, my ears are ringing for the rest of the day.
yeah, I know, it's
for
crazy.
sure.
Imagine being inside it. It's,
Oh, my
it's
God.
loud as shit.
There you
Look
go.
at that. Pow! It's like a Super Saiyan. It's like Vegeta.
Vegeta. Vegeta.
Oh, look at my wife. Next IFO.
IFO July.
No,
Yeah,
it's
going
staying
down.
parked. It's staying parked.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Oh, July. No, we're waiting till what is it? August? They have another one. No.
I know. Yeah, they have a couple, but
Well,
no.
we're gonna.
No.
Is this going down or not?
No.
Chicken shit. Let's go.
Wow.
On that note,
end the show.
that's
Don't
it.
you push
That's
that
it.
button.
He's feeding.
End
So
it. It's
I want
over.
to thank you guys for tuning in. Everybody for coming out. Remember,
No, don't
John,
remember. We're still
from
on for another
RPM.
20
Let's
minutes.
put the logo up there. RPM Dent Repair. Remember at RPM Dent Repair and all the different social media things out there. And remember, we are at Car Grumps. It's just Google Car Grumps, and then just look at Phil. So this is why I have to cut away all the time, guys. So anyway, so thank you guys for tuning in, and
Now,
and
don't you push that
that's
button.
it. That's it for the show, guys.
Don't you do it. I swear to God.
I can't do it. Wait a minute.
Don't do it.
Hold
like
on.
and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Like and
it's